What's up, everybody? Today is going to be a pretty awesome episode, and by the way, I'm Mr. C, and this is STEM with Mr. C. I can't start a video without doing my introduction. It's just something I have. So, if you didn't know, I really enjoy baseball, and it is currently baseball season. And if you've ever been to a baseball game or seen a baseball game, you're probably aware that pitchers can curve the ball. And we actually call that a curveball. No yeah, makes sense. But there's other pitches that pitchers can curve as well. The slider, the cutter, split finger fastball. But have you ever wondered why the ball curves? I mean, yeah, it actually, you know, which goes with the way they hold it, but why does that ball curve? And if you've never seen a curveball, I mean, here's a few of some of the nastiest curveballs you've ever seen.
Swung out and missed. He got him with a breaking ball.
Yeah,
Right
I mean,
there.
that. Imagine being up there and having to hit that. Wow. Or maybe you've seen Dude Perfect or How Ridiculous shoot basketballs from like really high, towers. You've seen actually the ball curve towards or away from the basket. And if you haven't seen that, let's check out this camera angle over here. This is How Ridiculous. They're down in Perth, Australia. And they're just demonstrating, and I'll put the link of the video up there. But here's a little bit of that video, and you can actually see that ball curve away from it. It's actually really cool. Wow.
This is Brett who just threw it.
Wow. Well, so what's going on there, right? Well, this is called the Magnus Effect. And don't worry, we're going to talk about who Magnus was, why is there an effect, and why are, like what's that whole thing about. But just understand that the Magnus Effect deals with air pressure. And it's what causes curveballs to curve, soccer balls to curve around defenders, and basketballs to curve away from you when you spin them. And so today, as you can see, I don't have any curveballs, baseballs, soccer balls, or anything, but I do have cups. We're actually going to make our own Magnus Flyers, and they're going to curve very similar to curveballs. All right, so let's talk about our materials, what we need. You're gonna need 2 cups of equal size. So I've got a whole plethora of cups here.
Jefe, what is a plethora?
Why, guapo?
Well, you told me I have a plethora, and I just would like to know if you know what a plethora is. I would not like to think that a person would tell someone he has a plethora and find out that that person has no idea what it means to have a plethora.
I do know what a plethora is. So I've got 2 of these. These are actually not Solo cups. They're Walmart brand, just as good. I also have 2 of these little swishing cups. I have little Dixie cups, and I have these 2 kind of cool, big, thick bowls. That'll work just fine. So just make sure they're equal size. Your choice, right? Duct tape or masking tape. I just prefer to use duct tape. But again, unlike most of my experiments where more duct tape will solve problems, you want to use as little of this as possible. You don't need a lot of duct tape, okay? And then you're gonna need some rubber bands. About 4 to 6 is fine. If you only have 3, you can make it work with 3. If you have 7, it's fine. You can use 7, right? Again, when I say 4 to 6, like about that, okay? Then you're gonna need an outdoor space. If you are feeling brave and your parents don't mind you launching these inside and knocking over the TV and the PlayStation, then by all means, but I recommend you do this outside. It's even more fun when you do it on a balcony or from like an elevated position, so long as you have your parents' permission. Glue is optional. I like to put a dab or 2 of glue. You don't have to though. And really, that's going to be it. So, since we're here, I'm already here, and I already got a perfect camera angle. I don't really need to do anything. I'm going to tell you, putting these together is actually really easy, okay? The hard part is going to be launching them, okay? It does use a little technique. It could be a little difficult, right? But I'm going to show you the best way to launch it, really the only way, and then you'll have consistent results every time. All right, so I'm going to start off with my red Solo cups here, okay? And all we're gonna do, it's like that. That's what we're doing, okay? Let me scoot it back here. Really, we're just putting one cup on top of the other, okay? But now you need to make sure they are perfectly centered. And yes, they do need to be perfectly centered. Otherwise, you'll get some kind of weird, it'll still be cool. But if you want it to do just fly straight, it needs to be perfectly centered. And so this is where I like to put like a dab or two of glue. Quick drying glue is best. You don't need a lot, and I'll show you how much glue. Usually I use a lot of glue because I don't trust that it's going to work. But you don't need that much, okay? Like really, you see I just dabbed the top of it. That's totally fine. And that's just going to keep it straight. And I've got good tacky glue. It really does. It keeps it nice and centered for me, okay? And that's really all we need right there. And that's really all we're doing, okay? It's not dry, but that's what we want right there. All right, next step, you're gonna take your duct tape, or you can take your masking tape, and I'm actually gonna cut my duct tape in half. Actually, I don't need to. And all we're doing, and this is where you really need to kind of be careful, and we're just going to loop, we're just gonna put that tape around so it's nice in the center, right? And I can see that it's not, I've already kind of dorked that up. So, and that's okay. Not a big deal, right? So really, you want to make sure that tape is directly in the center. Just like, see, that's better, okay? Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, and now just bring your tape around. And it's okay if it's not, right? It's not a huge deal. It's still gonna fly. And once you get it taped, right, that's pretty good. And then just give it a little roll like that. Roll it with your fingers. And that's gonna get all the air bubbles out. It's gonna make sure it's taped perfectly to that cup, right? There we go, perfect. Okay, there we go, that's nice. I mean, there's one Magnus Flyer done. This will take you about 2 to 3 minutes, okay? I'll do another one. Right, and we're gonna test these out. And I do recommend testing them out with different cups, different sizes cups, different materials, right? This is really, I mean, I can show you guys how to make one and fly it, but the fun in this and the science of this goes with experimenting with different materials, right? Does this fly better than this? Is this faster than this, right? All these things that if you've ever asked, I wonder if that works, well, that's what science comes into, and you just start experimenting and find it out. Same thing, okay? Put a little bit of glue here. There we go. Again, a little bit of glue. Don't need a lot, okay? Put it on there. Really rub that glue, really get it. There we go. And now, there you go. That looks nice and even. That's perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna take my duct tape. Again, you don't need a lot. One little strip is fine, right? You don't wanna put a ton in there because that's gonna add to the weight and it could mess up the air resistance and friction. There we go, like that, okay? And then if you want, you can even lay it down. Oh, but when you do that, you gotta make sure that glue is kind of dry, otherwise, doesn't work as well, so I just got to restart it. And again, see, it happens, right? That around, perfect. There we go. And my tape didn't go all the way around. I cut off too short of a piece of tape, and that's okay. Just like that. So what I'm gonna do is gonna take another piece, put it on there, okay? It's not a big deal. As long as you, again, try and use the least amount of tape and get these cups taped together again. So rub your tape, right? Really get it, everything contacting that cup, just like that. Perfect. There we go. You know, I'll make one more, and I've got, so I'm using a green screen right now, so it's gonna be really fun when I use green cups. So it's probably gonna look like, you know, whatever my, whatever background I have. I think I have a baseball background back there. So there we go, a little bit of glue. Again, not a lot. And there we go. And so really this is, I'll make the small Dixie cup one too, and we'll go and launch it. The fun in these is launching it, and we will talk about the launcher. So we'll build a launcher after this. Okay, another thing, another piece of tape. There we go. And I'm going to carefully, oh, there we go. Perfect. Oh, yes. Almost got it, right? And I just, a little bit right there. So I'm just gonna put another piece of tape. Make sure that's all connected. Oh, perfect. And there we go. Perfect. All right, so now I've got 3. So I got my green one, my red one, and my paper one. And let's do a small, where's my small Dixie cups? Where'd they go? Where'd they go? There they are. There they are. Okay, same thing. A little bit of glue. And again, this glue is tacky glue, so if you have fast drying glue, it does help. Elmer's glue is gonna take a while. Good. Okay, easy part, right? Let's do the somewhat easy part, and we're gonna build our launcher. So this is where you're going to need your rubber bands. And I've got, again, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I'll use 4, actually I'll use 5. In the middle, 4 to 6, so I'll use 5 rubber bands. Okay, and I'm gonna tilt you down here in 3, 2, 1. And there we go. All right, so let's talk about how to tie our rubber bands. Okay, it's gonna be a little tricky, and once you get the hang of it, it becomes a very fun thing to do. So I have my 2 rubber bands. I'm just gonna put one over the other. Okay, now, this guy right down there, right? He's under everything. I'm gonna lift that up. So I'm gonna pull this up. This guy on top is gonna go under this rubber band. So I'm gonna reach under here. I'm gonna grab that. And then I'm gonna grab this rubber band, right? And now all I'm doing is pulling, and see what happens. I get a little knot like that, and then just tie that knot. You can do the same thing. It's going to be slightly different, and really it's just going to be, you can't do the same thing because it'll tie it right here. So now you just have to put this on top, right? So here's my double rubber band. Rubber band on my left is going to go on top, and all I'm going to do is just pull, and then I'm holding onto this, and I'm just doing the same thing. Okay. Let's do it one more time. This goes under, that goes on top. And then all I'm doing is pulling this rubber band. Nope, not there. There we go. This goes under, this goes on top. And now all I'm doing is reaching under, grabbing that rubber band and pulling it. Okay, one more time. This goes under, this goes on top. All I'm doing is reaching under here, grabbing that rubber band. And remember, I'm pulling here, and there's my launcher. So I've got 5 rubber bands worth of a launcher. That's really all we need. All right, let's come back up here in 3, 2, 1. All right. How to launch this? Okay, to wind this up, you're going to take your flyer, and you're going to put your launcher right in the center, right? And all we're doing is just wrapping this around. Now, I want you need to kind of wrap around tight, okay? Don't do it so tight, because if you do it too tight, I have one here, right? If you pull too hard, watch what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna pull it, and you're gonna crush, right? And see what's happening? Now that's no good, right? That's like way too tight. And it's also not in the middle, right? So when I let go, nothing's gonna really happen. It's gonna get stuck, okay? So don't pull too tight. Don't pull too tight, but it does you need to stretch the rubber band out a little bit. Okay, so thumb here, thumb on the center, launcher's on the center, and I'm just going to go under and over, and then repeat, under, over. See, I'm gently stretching it, under, over, and then I want to end with this being under. So I'm launching it like this, okay? If you do the other way, it's gonna fly down, right? You can even shoot this way if you want, but you want that to, when it spins, it creates backspin, right? And we're gonna test it out here shortly. Okay, same thing happens with our little cup. Again, let's one more time. In the center, we're going to go under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, and then you want to launch it with the launcher. You want the rubber band to come under and launch it, right? And then when you let go, you can kind of feel it spinning, and that's what you want. You want to spin backwards toward you. Okay, I think we should probably go outside and test these out. What do you guys think? All right, let's go out and test these out. All right, everybody, what's up? Here I am, and so we're gonna start first by doing it on the ground, and then we're gonna climb on the roof, and then we're gonna see what it really looks like. Keep in mind, I do have permission to go on the roof. Do not go on the roof without your parents' permission. Please, please, please. Okay, here we go, and we're gonna put on a little show for our students out here. All right, remember, we're gonna put our cup, put our string or our rubber band right in the center of it, and then we're just going to loop under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, and then make sure that ends with it under. All right, and then you're gonna step back and I'm gonna launch it at you guys in 3, 2, 1. There you go. Whee! Okay, and then what it looks like from the side is actually really cool, so I'll do that again. Remember, one more time, you take your string or your rubber band, go under, over, not too tight, remember, not too tight, under, over, whoop, under, over, and then make sure that comes under. Let's see what it looks like on the side. Here we go, in 3, 2, 1. Whee! That's pretty cool. That's pretty. Did you guys like that? I'm gonna do it on the roof right now. Okay, so we're gonna go up to the roof right now. We're gonna check out our other flyers. We're gonna check them out. All right, come on up with me to the roof. See you guys. All right, what's up, everybody? Here we are. Yeah, and it's we're on the roof, and there we go. That's better. All right, so we're on the roof, and again, the same thing's gonna happen, but it's kind of cool to see it fly from a higher distance, right? It's still cool to do it if you're on the ground, but if you get your parents' permission, definitely on the balcony or maybe a little bit higher, you can really see those cups kind of spin around. Okay, so here we go. We are going to check them out. Yeah, and I'm like yeah, we got some third graders down there. I think they're pretty funny. Pretty funny third graders. I'm taking a video. All right, everyone, go and say hi on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there you go. There we go, see? Loyal fan base there. I love it. Okay, so there we go. Remember, got our cup, and we're gonna go ahead and take it. I'm not gonna fall. Don't fall. Well, if I do, it's tuck and roll. You go under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. We have some comedians out there in third grade. Who knew? All right, there we go. And so now we're just going to launch it, right? Remember, it's got to come under, and we're gonna go 3, 2, 1. Whoop! Not like that. Sometimes that will catch on there. So good thing this happened right now. Don't try and catch it if it does that. When you do loop this underneath, make sure it goes directly on top so it doesn't get all tangled up. Okay, try it again. And, whoop, whoop. Sometimes it gets away from me. There we go. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. There it goes. There it is. That's pretty cool. Definitely the wind got that one. That was pretty awesome. All right, let's try. Do I have my little cup up here? I didn't bring my little cups, I don't think. That's okay. I've got this one. I got my red solo cup, so we're gonna check that out. See what happens. We go under, remember under, over. I'm gonna get this. This is gonna be really good. I'm gonna get a lot of. There we go. Perfect. Oh yeah, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. And it's a little. See, I got a little tight here, a little crinkly, so I don't want to deform the cup. Now, it's a little tight. Okay, so I'm gonna loosen that up a little bit. Doesn't want to be super tight, otherwise it'll crinkle the cup. Don't want that. There we go. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Nope. Yes, if you could, please. So again, that does happen from time to time. Sometimes the string gets kind of tangled up and then you get a false start. That's okay. And, oh, look at that. Got it back. Got it back. All right, here we go. Let's try it again. And we're under, over. Not too tight. And here we go in 3, 2, 1. Oh, beautiful. There it goes. Oh, you don't need to throw it up. I got it. Once they're down, they're down. So okay. Once I launch them. Oh, that went well. Oh, that went really well. Oh, I was happy about that. Okay, here we go. Let's try this one. Try our paper cup one. Let's see what happens. All right. Same thing. Gonna spin it. There we go. We go wind it up. Not too worried about the paper cup collapsing. It's more worried about the plastic cup. There we go. All right, here we go. We're gonna check it out in 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, let's do one more. One more, since we're up here. All right, let's do one more here. Got my green cup back. All right, let's check it out. Beautiful. All right. Nice. Okay. There we go. We got it. Here we go. Launching in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, look at that. Oh, look at it go. Oh, that was awesome. That thing just hovered in the sky for like a minute. That was crazy. Okay, so let's go ahead now that we have launched it successfully and we found a couple things that happen, right? Sometimes the launcher, right, gets a little tangled up. So just make sure you're going over the top of it and not tangling it up. You know, and then just kind of get used to launching it. There's a little kind of a wrist thing I do. I kind of push my wrist down to get out of the way. And some of this is just gonna come with time, right? But anyway, let's go ahead and go back to the lab and talk about what we did here, because it was pretty awesome. Okay, actually, before we go, I found my my small cups. I want to try it out, right? It fell in the in the gutter. All right, let's go ahead and try it out right now. All right, here we go. Got our cup here. All right, let's go ahead and tilt it down. There we go. Same thing. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it around. Wrap. Oh, make sure it goes right in the center. Sometimes that can be the cause right there. It gets a little weird. There we go. Center, and then go under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, and then we're gonna launch it with it under. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Woo! So it didn't really, it was okay. Definitely didn't get a lot of spin on that. So it launched a little bit. Wasn't terribly impressed with it. Could just be I had too much rubber band, but definitely I think the plastic cups spun a lot faster and did little cooler things, though the paper cup was cool too. All right, now we can go back to the lab. That was pretty cool, right? All right, so let's talk about what's happening here. All right, the Magnus Effect. It's actually named after this guy named Heinrich Gustav Magnus. You don't have to remember that, but if you do, it's fantastic. And he was a German physicist who actually investigated this. Now, if we want to be really precise. This is a cylinder, right? Our cups are cylinders. So it's not technically called the Magnus Effect. The force on a rotating cylinder is actually called the Kuda-Joukowski effect, or the lift, right? For our sake here, let's just call it the Magnus Effect. One, it's a little easier to say. And two, I mean, really it's kind of getting into a cylinder or a sphere or whatever, right? But anyway, that's enough for that. Anyway, so now that we know that, so when we released the launcher, right, when we let go, you saw that the cup started to spin, right? Now, obviously the flyer is moving away from us because we're launching it this way, okay? But you saw the cups are spinning towards you, right? And that's called backspin. And then what happens is this backspin, it's going really, 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 really fast, right? It actually causes whirlpools of air, this turbulence of air. And basically what that does is that pushes the flyer up because we have high pressure here, low pressure here, and what's happening is it actually causes it to lift up. And then it comes back down, and if it's still going fast, right, it's gonna go and there we go, right? Now, what's happening here is, remember Newton's third law, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, okay? Now, what's happening is the downward force on the air, that's what's causing it to lift up, right? That air is pushing down, which then causes it to lift up, right? And the same thing is happening, and you see it with this. If you did it side to side, you want to try that out, you'll see it actually kind of curves around this way. Same thing is happening, right? It's a vortex and whirlpools of air that are causing it to spin and rotate, okay? So what's going on here? That's the same thing that's happening with curveballs. And really by the direction, changing the direction of a baseball, changing how you spin the baseball, they can actually cause that pitch to do all sorts of weird things. What also helps, those little stitches on the baseball, yes, they look really awesome, but that actually does, that little, like it's like 1 or 2 millimeters high, that actually does assist in deflecting the air sideways or under or down, which then causes that ball to spin more drastically. And so there you go, we actually made like kind of little mini curveball machines there. So I hope you enjoyed this, right? A little bit of physics there and, you know, air moving through and everything. Pretty awesome, right? So anyway, let me know how it turned out. What did you try it with? Did you try it with little Dixie cups? Did you do big bowls? Did you do solo cups? What'd you do? What one worked the best? What didn't work? And what would you do differently? All right, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this little physics experiment, the Magnus Effect. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time on some more STEM with Mr. C. Bye, guys.